Over 1 million marine animals die each year due to trash in the ocean. Hello, my name is Arun, and I'm from Switzerland. I grew up in the Swiss Alps, so how some of you maybe can imagine, I grew up in total nature. In summer, I was rock climbing, and in winter, I was snowboarding. I totally love nature. For those of you who don't know where Switzerland is, it's in the middle of Europe, surrounded by Germany, Austria, France, and Italy. When I was 5 years old, I came the first time to Bali, and I was shocked how much trash there was in the oceans. I can remember not wanting to go swim because there was way too much trash in the oceans. After 3 years, I went back to Switzerland, and I came back this summer. And I started diving. I fell in love with diving, but I was shocked how all our coral reefs are dying, and with them, our marine life. So I knew for my quest, I need to do something to help our oceans. I learned that corals are really important to keep our oceans healthy because they provide shelter and food for millions of marine animals, and they protect our coastal lines from impact like storms and waves. They absorb CO2, and because they help with biodiversity, they play a big impact in our oxygen production. I knew I want to fundraise money for an organization called Living Seas, who put structures into the ocean and attach baby corals to them to repopulate the reefs of Palang Bay. But the question was, what do I do to fundraise money? So I thought about blacksmithing, because I'm good at it and I like doing it. But then the problem was the sustainable part, so I decided to make a knife out of fully recycled materials. For those of you who don't know what blacksmithing is, I'll give you a short overview. Blacksmithing is the art and craft of working with metal, typically iron or steel. You use tools like hammer, anvils, and forges to create stuff like armor, jewelry, weapons, and tools. Blacksmithing is thousands of years old and comes from Mesopotamia, where it invented about 1500 BCE. From there it spread to Rome, Greece, and Egypt, where it revolutionized their weapons and tool production. The word blacksmithing comes from two words, black and smith. The word black comes from the black color the metal gets after it got heated and worked. And the word smith comes from the Old English word smythe, who means somebody who works with metal. So a blacksmith is technically somebody who works with black metal. For my blade of my knife, I took a piece of spring steel because of a car spring, because car springs are very good for knives because they're very flexible but still durable, and you can make them pretty sharp. And of course, a knife needs a handle, so I made mine out of a piece of recycled wood I found it laying around in Haya. I'm not 100% sure what wood it is, but it's for sure some type of jungle wood. Because it's common sense that knives are sharp, I mean the sheath, it should be fully recycled again, so I made it out of a piece of old plastic pipe and a piece of scrap leather. I melted my knife into the plastic pipe to make it fit perfectly, so it doesn't fall out and it gives it good protection, while the leather just makes it look nice. In Switzerland, I worked in a quite modern blacksmith, and I used mostly Western techniques. And I was curious, what's the difference between there and here? What's a not that modern blacksmith and like a mix between Western and Indonesian techniques? I can tell you, a big difference is that I did here way more from my hands. That means it takes way longer, but it's probably better quality. And I learned Indonesian techniques like how you measure a knife for your own body size and different stuff. Our big difference are the forges. The Indonesian forge is mostly made out of mud bricks, while the Western is fully made out of metal. And the Indonesian forge has a thick layer of soil and ash at the bottom to shape it how you want to have it, while the Western is just fully made out of metal. And then one of the biggest differences is that the Indonesian forge has air blown in from the side, while the Western has it blown in from the bottom, what makes a quite big difference if you work with metal. So my biggest problem was time management, because blacksmithing is an art that requires lots of time, and I couldn't take IHOP to my house to work at my house, so I need to have a tight schedule because I always needed to have time. I could skip classes. My mentor SR needed to have time, and IHOP needs to be free, so that was pretty hard. And to be honest, I finished my knife yesterday, so Here you can see my finished knife. The type of knife is called Bowie knife, and it's made for shepherds because the tip is exactly in the middle of the handle. That's made that if a sheep got injured, they could stab it, that the sheep has as less pain as possible. After it got used in the Wild West as heavy working and fighting knife. Nowadays it's mostly used as outdoor and working knife. So this knife is perfect if you want to go run out in the woods, make a fire, whatever you want to do. I have a stand out there where you can put your name, how much you bid, and your contact. And remember, all money gets donated to help our oceans. So please make a big bid. The most important thing I learned from this project is that the most important part of a project is to start. If you never start, you will never finish. The oceans are the biggest lungs of our planet. Recycling trash can help protect them. Thank you.